Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's Sunday, August 28th, 2016. This evening, the front page story for CNN, same stance, different words. Trump says he'll make major speech on immigration policy. And what we're going to talk about in this video is why the date of this speech and where it's happening is so interesting. August 31st, 2016, this coming Wednesday in Arizona. We'll talk about it. Where I want to begin, though, is with this headline and what is coded within it in the language of gematria. If you're new to my channel, I talk about gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words, because it is used by the mainstream media as a regular basis, and if you learn to read this language, it reveals a lot. Even before we get to the headline, I also want to point out that Donald Trump, CNN, the pictures they've been using of him, I would say in recent months, Donald Trump's face is on the front of CNN multiple times a day, every single day. I would say for the last 2 months, a third of the images they've put up, he's been doing the AOK, or what it also means to the occult, to the esoteric, is 666, the number that comes from Revelation, the book of prophecy that ends the Bible, the 66th book. In Revelation, the number 666 is made infamous in the verse Revelation 13:18. Revelation's the book of prophecy. In Jewish gematria, 666 sums to prophecy, and from my research, this is exactly what this number represents to the people in high places who code it, who run our media. And who those people are the Zionist Jews who practice Kabbalah, which is Jewish mysticism based on numbers, numerology, gematria, the things we're talking about right now. So prophecy, 666. There's this card game called Illuminati. It came out in 1982. It was revised in 1994 or 95, but it first came out in 82. It turned 34 years old this summer. A bunch of the cards have predictive programming seemingly for things that have happened. A lot of you have probably seen the card where the World Trade Centers are exploding, and it talks about a terrorist nuke. It looks just like the way the World Trade Centers exploded on 9/11, where the destruction is in the buildings. Lots of interesting things in this card game. This card right here called Hit and Run. Hit and Run in gematria sums to 46, the year Trump was born. Excuse me. The word sacrifice also equals 46. This card, if I blow it up, it says assassination. So this card has to do with assassination. Notice the license plate is 666. The number 235, those are the first three prime numbers. Earlier this year, there was all this predictive programming for something big on May 23rd. It ended up being Obama in Vietnam doing everything by the number 84. August 22nd this year was the 235th day of the year. Donald Trump got very negative press from Time magazine on this date. This headline came out, Time with his face melting with the word meltdown. And meltdown in gematria sums to the same thing as prophecy. Donald Trump also spoke in Ohio on this date. It's very interesting. It makes me think that very possibly we are truly reading into the code, but we're only reading to dates that are further in the script. We still haven't gotten to the end point, if you follow me. If you're new here, you're probably like, what? What are you saying? You have to understand, in my videos, I'm talking to people who've been here for 3 years and people who just got here, which is a difficult thing to do. So if you're new here, there's ongoing theming in the media that I've been pointing out all year. In February, I made a video saying how Donald Trump had themes with John Hinckley, the man who tried to assassinate Reagan, and the movie Taxi Driver. And a lot of people made fun of me throughout the year. You can go read all the trolling that video got. Well, in the last month, we've gotten a news story of John Hinckley being released from the mental asylum, that he was in. He was in prison, a mental ward. They just released him. That was a news story about a month ago. And then, within the last month, we got Robert De Niro speaking about how Donald Trump's just like the character in Taxi Driver, the movie that I said he had parallels to. If you've never seen Taxi Driver, Robert De Niro stars in the movie. It's set in the year of a political election. It has to do with a potential political assassination, something that Robert De Niro's character is flirting with the idea of. And that movie is based on the assassin Arthur Bremer, who shot George Wallace 44 years ago in 1972 when George Wallace was running for president. If you pay attention to nightly news, Donald Trump's getting compared to George Wallace a lot. They're saying Donald Trump's the biggest bigot to run for president successfully since George Wallace. And with regards to 44 years, the word kill equals 44, so does the word shooting. A lot of political assassinations in history having to do with 44. In a moment, we'll talk about what 44 has to do with his upcoming speech in Arizona and more. Let's come back up to this headline for a moment. Same stance, different words tells me a lot in Words into Numbers, the language of gematria. Let me share with you what I see in this. Same stance, different words. 266. Right away, I'm reminded of Pope Francis's visit last year, the first Jesuit pope. He visited with Barack Obama, the President of the United States, as the 266th pope. That's what Pope Francis is. He's the 266th. On September 23rd, the 266th day of the year. September 23rd is also New Year's Day on the French Republican calendar, a very special calendar, which we'll talk more about in a moment as well. In Pythagorean gematria, same stance, different words, also sums to 104. Special number to the history of this nation, established July 4th, 1776, a date with 104 numerology. In gematria, Jerusalem sums to 104. The United States of America was established as part of an ongoing agenda in bringing about a one-world government, a Masonic, Zionist, Jewish world government. That's why there's a USA right in the middle of Jerusalem. Jerusalem in Pythagorean gematria sums to 32, just like America, and this date numerology also sums to 32. Different methods, interrelated. 1 plus 0 plus 4 is 5, 3 plus 2 is 5, and they break down to the same single-digit number. So, we're going to talk about Arizona and what that has to do with this nation, the United States of America, the Jesuit order within the Catholic Church, which Pope Francis is a part of, and the current president, as well as what it has to do with France, where New Year's Day is September 23rd, meaning the last day of the year is September 22nd, New Year's Eve. And in this headline, we have the coding for 266, which is September 22nd this year. This year's a leap year, so the 266th day is September 22nd. Last year wasn't a leap year, it was September 23rd. And remember, in case you're new here, election equals 83, leap year equals 83, the Donald equals 83. The Donald. So September 22nd, this date that's being coded in the headline, before we get to Arizona and the speech, this is all interrelated. It's all going to come together by the end. September 22nd, 2016 is a date with 67 numerology. Freemasonry equals 67. George Washington, the first president, died at age 67. He was a 33rd degree Freemason. Blood sacrifice equals 67. This is a number that has a lot to do with ritual sacrifice. It's a date with a life lesson number of 40. United States equals 40. If anything happens that day, it will be aimed at steering, the emotions of the American people. It's also a date with 22 numerology, the master builder number. It's on the 22nd day of the month, and it comes 22 days after his speech to close out August, the 31st, in Arizona. It's also a date with 47 numerology. President and authority equal 47. The subheadline up here, just a little extra notes. Trump says he'll clarify immigration policy this week. In gematria, that sums to 229, the 50th prime number. Donald equals 50. America equals 50. You might recall in Orlando this year, there was a shooting, June 12th, 2016. At first, they reported 50 dead, 53 injured. Then the next day, it was 49 dead, plus the shooter for a total of 50. The shooter's name equaled 229. It was all coded propaganda by the numbers. So check this out. Look at the way CNN writes their story about Donald Trump. Remember, Donald Trump's the person who said he's grateful for the uneducated. Here we go. Donald Trump said Sunday night he plans to make a major speech on immigration during his stop in Arizona on Wednesday. I will be making a major speech on, and look how they put this in caps, illegal immigration on Wednesday in the great, in caps again, state of Arizona. Big crowds looking for a larger venue, Trump's tweet said. Major speech in Gematria sums to 113. What's in quotes? 113, this number they love to code into headlines that are about dishonesty. Donald Trump, for more than a year I've documented this. Just on my blog alone, I have more than 100 Donald Trump headlines with 113 coded right into them. Mainstream 113, dishonest 113, green screen 113, and the Bava Kama of the Talmud, it says, it's okay for somebody who's Jewish to lie to somebody who's not. Baba Kama 113a. 113, mainstream, dishonest. It's the Zionist Jews who control our media. They are what are referred to as the Illuminati, the New World Order. A lot of things under their umbrella, though, including the Catholic Church, which we'll get to. So this is happening in Arizona. Arizona is one of two states with the gematria of 84. Arizona equals 84. And Arkansas equals 84. Bill Clinton's home state. The Clintons, Donald Trump running against Hillary. United States of America and Pythagorean gematria sums to 84. So does Revolutionary War. So does Thomas Jefferson. So does Louisiana Purchase. So does Francis Holland. Remember, there was 84 dead on Bastille Day. Right now, in France, they're in the 224th year of the French Republican calendar. And let me just show you this. We were just talking about the French Republican calendar, September 22nd, the end of the new year. They are in their 224th year of the French Republican calendar. It'll be the 225th on September 23rd. And check this out. The sum of the divisors of 84 sum to 224 the year they're in. Remember, on Bastille Day, they had the news story of 84 killed in Nice. And that actually happened exactly 84 days after April 22nd, written 22/4, a lot like 224, which was the day the movie Bastille Day came out about a terrorist attack in France on Bastille Day. 84 days later, 84 dead, streets littered with fake blood and plastic dummies. Dummies 84. This movie also came out 213 days after the start of the French Republican calendar, and French Republican calendar equals 213. The name Nimrod has gematria of 213, the original Freemason from the Bible. France, the United States, Great Britain, very much Masonic nations, and at this day and age, so are many other nations of the world. A spreading order. International. So anyway, Bastille Day, 84 dead, the France and the United States connections, again, Thomas Jefferson 84, Louisiana Purchase 84, Revolutionary War, United States of America. It's beyond coincidence. The Jesuit order, remember Pope Francis visited Obama last year he arrived on September 22nd last year, 2015, visited with Obama on September 23rd, 266th Pope, 266th day. This news today comes on a Sunday, Trump announcing this campaign. I just want you to notice that Jesuit sums to 84. Jesuit within the Catholic order. It was the Catholic Church that turned the Christian day of worship from Saturday to Sunday, the Sabbath day, until Sunday, sun worship. Anyhow, Jesuit Sunday, Pope Francis, the first Jesuit pope, born on a date with 84 numerology. 84 numerology. Remember that Pope Francis is age 79. That's the 22nd prime number. We'll talk more about 79 at the end of this. Anyhow, we talked about how Trump, the biggest bigot in 44 years. Trump is running to be the 44th president. Number 45, but the 44th person. Obama's number 44, but he's only the 43rd person. He was elected on a date with 43 numerology, 11/4/2008. Gave his acceptance speech in Grant Park, gematria 43. Has the connections to Lincoln. Lincoln born on the 43rd day of the year. Anyhow, Trump trying to be the 44th person to be president. The divisors of 44 sum to 84, like how the divisors of 84 sum to 224. So look, Obama's the 44th president, and Obama in Jewish gematria equals 84. The divisors of 44 sum to 84, the number for our nation. Obama born August 4th. That's the 216th day of the year. The name Barak in Jewish gematria equals 216. number connected to God through Kabbalah. Now, Trump's given his speech in Arizona, which is the 48th state, established February 14th, 1912, the 45th day of the year, campaigned for the 45th president. Think about how 48 is the reflection of 84, and again, Arizona, one of only two states with a gematria of 84, the other Arkansas, where the Clintons are from. Look at all this 48 gematria. Donald Trump, propaganda, Illuminati. We were talking about the Illuminati card game. I put the word sex in here for fun. I don't think that sex and evil are coded with the same gematria as by coincidence. All of this gematria practice essentially comes from the holy texts of the world, and the holy texts of the world have very much taught people to be scared and intimidated and think things are bad that aren't. It's all fear-driven and driving people away against their humanity. Sex in this society, it's used as a weapon. And with regards to Donald Trump, think about, his wife. He has this very young, beautiful wife that's, she was made the major story the first day of the convention. Everything in this nation's sex. You got this old man, Donald Trump, with this young, beautiful model half his age. Anyway, sex, evil, hoax, Arizona. Arizona's already home to a shooting hoax, that of Gabby Giffords. A younger, more attractive female politician, formerly an actress. Her shooting was not real. Her entire recovery on TV was part of a staged joke. And if you have not figured that out, go back and look at the footage, the news of her being shot that day. Read the headlines. Remember how it was first reported that she was killed, how she was near death. Go look at the photos which are online from that shooting. They left her alone with people just standing around idle, laying on her back with a little tiny face wash cloth over her head that has a little tiny red spot on it. Something that doesn't make any sense. If she's shot in the head, she'd be gushing blood everywhere. Everyone should be around her, helping her out. It's a grand mocking what goes on in this nation. So moving on, following these 48s, the date he gives the speech, August 31st, 2016 in Arizona, is a date with a life lesson number of 48. 48, just like Arizona, the 48th state, just like Donald Trump. More Donald Trump by the numbers. The date Arizona was established, February 14th, 1912. A date with 47 numerology, like president, like agent, like authority. Special number. And remember that this date can be written 14/2, a lot like 142. We'll talk about why that's significant in just a moment. New Mexico is the 47th state, the state that came before Arizona. New Mexico in gematria equals 48. Kind of interesting. It's like Arizona has the numerology tribute to New Mexico, which it came after, and New Mexico has the gematria encoding for what's to come next in a way. I think they were all part of the same divvy up when these states were formed. After, the United States and Mexico, they had their fights. If you've never seen my work on that war, by the numbers. Ended on the 33rd day of the year. Mexico equals 33 plus a whole lot more. So August 31st, the day he's giving the speech, as we write in the U.S., 8/31. The other thing I noticed about that date is in reverse, 138. The name Donald Trump in simple English gematria sums to 138. You might recall earlier this year on Easter Sunday in Central Park in New York, there was a Trump tombstone. From the date of that until the date of the speech is 157 days, United States 157. From May 23rd, the day that Budweiser put America on their beer can, 223 days after their $106 billion merger, plus a whole lot more. Anheuser-Busch equals 144, Corporation equals 144. May 23rd was the 144th day of the year. From that day until August 31st is 101 days. Assassin equals 101. Remember JFK, assassinated from 411 Elm Street. Assassin equals 411 in Jewish gematria. The Andy Griffith Show from Christmas Day from 1961. You never seen my video on that work, you got to check it out. From his birthday, Flag Day, June 14th, is 79 days. The murder number, Pope Francis currently 79. From August 22nd, the date we were also looking at where the Meltdown cover came out. Meltdown. That cover, August 22nd, death equals 228, 22/8, August 22nd. From that date, 9 days. 9 represents complete numerology. Until the upcoming election is 69 days. And until Inauguration Day is 142 days. And remember, Arizona, February 14th, 14/2. I find this very interesting. It almost even makes me start to doubt myself for just a second about who the next president might be. About 6 months ago, I put out a video on, in case I'm wrong, why Donald Trump would be the next president and not Hillary Clinton. And I still cannot imagine it being Donald Trump, but I could be wrong. And if Donald Trump isn't installed, it will be to further provoke and divide and steer this nation astray. The reason I'm looking at this is because I'm remembering the Republican convention as well, where, remember, it began July 18th, 18/7, exactly 187 days before Inauguration Day, and George Washington equals 187. It's very interesting how this lines up with the date of establishment for Arizona. And again, if Trump were to become president, we talked about how Arizona was established on the 45th day of the year. Arizona equals 84, like United States of America. Donald Trump became a celebrity in 1984, which was 33 years before 2017 Inauguration Day. And again, something we talked about as well. The Simpsons episode hints that Lisa Simpson becomes the first female after Donald Trump's president. I've talked about if Hillary Clinton were to survive and be healthy, Hillary Clinton would be 73 when the next presidential term starts, and Hillary Clinton in Gematria sums to 73. It's possible. The other thing in emphasis from what they put in the article was illegal immigration, as we looked at, and great, those two words. Here's what's interesting about both of those words. Illegal immigration sums to 96, like Freemason, another number coded alongside Donald Trump all year, and great equals 51, like conspiracy, also like Freemason with the S exception. One more thing about the Donald Trump and assassination point. There was an assassination attempt on him supposedly in Las Vegas on June 18th. Nevada, one of two states with a gematria of 47, the other's Ohio. Remember, the first Democratic debate was in Nevada, the first Republican in Ohio, the only two states with 47 gematria connecting back to president. From that date until the election, November 8th, is a span of 144 days. And I find that very interesting because that's the number connected to political assassinations all throughout history. JFK and RFK, the brothers, both died by that number, and many more. Even deaths that aren't supposedly from assassination, such as William Henry Harrison, the first president to die in office, the date he died on, connections to 44 and 144, and supposedly his death, natural. November 8th, also, the word death in Jewish gematria equals 118. Lincoln was assassinated after being elected on November 8th. Should Donald Trump become the next president? And I really still don't think that's going to happen. But in case I'm wrong, if he does, this assassination theme will still be in play. Keep that in mind. You know, they're trying to tell us something with all these headlines, all this coding, the taxi driver narrative, the George Wallace stuff. You know, statues such as this, the emperor has no balls. To me, that's a major clue that it's for Hillary. So, I think we summed it up, Truth Seeker. Hopefully the message was clear enough. Sometimes the gematria, admittedly, it can be a little confusing. That's why you got to look for the greater themes, the greater narratives. Let that do the talking. Until next time, Truth Seeker.